Hi, I'm Colin and welcome to How to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, we'll get started and we'll paint this one. Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Painting Watercolours. If you're a painter, every now and again you'll get painter's block, where no matter how many photographs you look at, it's just nothing to paint. This is when you make one up yourself, and I've made this one up. And I've just left a thin film of water on the paper, and I'm just going to dry off the area. And I don't want any painting, I think, at the moment, which is this foreground hill or little bluff. And what I'm going to be using for this is Naples yellow, cobalt violet with some Payne's grey in it, cobalt violet on its own, indanthrene blue, cobalt violet and Payne's grey, and orange. That's for the sky. Nice mix. Take some of the Naples yellow and I'm going to put this in. Naples yellow is excellent for skies. It really works well. I've got the board laying flat. I'm just bringing it out sort of in almost a sunburst kind of pattern. I'll take some orange. This is Sennelier orange. This is all Sennelier watercolours, for those that want to know what we use in them or what I'm using in this. But any good quality, artist quality paint is perfectly fine. Don't get hung up on who makes what. A good quality artist paint works wonders. And I'm going to take some of the cobalt violet. Some of the cobalt violet and Payne's grey just deepens it a bit, almost in a rainbow effect. We'll see how this goes. You're never quite sure. Indanthrene blue, cobalt violet and Payne's grey, just to bring some evening into it. The paper I'm using is £140 extra rough Bockingford watercolour paper. Just bringing these colours together just slightly. I'm just dropping some water in. I just like to soften some edges in and sort of allow the colour to move around. Remember, your paint will dry around about 12 to 15% lighter, plus I'm adding water as well. And then we're going to give it a good dose of neglect while you let that dry. Now that's dry. When I say dry, it's still, the paper is still damp and it's cold to the touch, but the paint is set onto the paper. I'm going to bring some water in here, and as you can see, I've not fiddled with the sky, and you get a wonderful backdrop. And I'm just going to take an oil brush. What I'm going to do, I just want to drop some specks of water on here. I'm going to drop some trees in, and you get a hit and miss effect with the water. And then I'm going to take some, small brush I think, a mixture of cobalt violet and Payne's grey, and then we can start to bring some of these trees out. So I'm just using the tip of the brush. The board is set at an angle, so some of this will run, which is why I put the water onto it. Don't have them all the same height. So it's just an impression. Cobalt violet, and I can drop this in as well. I want to take some clean water, and I'm just going to tap the bottom with this. And we can just allow this to drift down. We can take some of the darker blue, drop some of this in, just that's a different layer. Indanthrene blue, Payne's grey, with some of the cobalt violet in it. You do the same thing. You can just add drops of water to it, tips of the brush. Very difficult sometimes not to fiddle, but you have to resist that urge. Cobalt violet, just drop a little in. And some of the blue in down 3 in blue, cobalt violet and Payne's grey. I'm just bringing some water onto this sort of snowy embankment area, and I'm going to catch it, just allow it to come down. Taking the excess off. Then I'm going to let that dry. Now they're dry, I'm just re-wetting these hillsides. I like to take them in section if I want to show you something. It just makes it easier sometimes for you to paint. And I've wet the whole of this area, and where I want the lines to be, I've not wet them. I don't want the paint to spread that far up. So I'm going to take some of the cobalt violet and Payne's grey. This is the lighter colour, and I'm just going to drop this in. Sweep it down where it's dry. I should get a nice kind of line. Same on this part here. Just where the light could be catching it. Just open this up in a minute. I'm going to take some of the stronger colour and add a little bit of this to it, because I do want a little bit of depth. The shadow, so that's just a mixture of the blues and the cobalt violet. I'm just going to add a little shadow. Going to begin to pale this outwards. Darker down here. I want to use a wet brush and just begin to pull some of this forward. It's like a mission creep sort of thing. Just leaving a couple of slivers of white. That just gives you the direction and the flow of the slope. And I'm just going to let that dry. Just want to wash a little bit of water in here. I want to give a few, just some directional strokes. Take some of the cobalt violet, and I don't want it as dark as this on the shadows, so I want to leave some of the white, and I want to take some of the darker colour. I'm just going to add some of this in. Just soften some of the edges. If you enjoy these videos, please leave a comment, please subscribe, please give it a thumbs up. I just want to take a little water once again and just add a few spots to where these All the trees are. This is some thicker paints of the cobalt violets and Payne's grey. I do want this one at an angle. So the hairs are splayed apart and it will give you the shape of your fir tree. And I do want this to be a stronger colour than the ones in the background. Just touch your brush on and move it. Do like that. Prince Ultramarine and burnt umber, just to get a dark mixture. Just going to add this in the centre. Take a damp brush, just begin to pull some shadow back. And if you followed it this far, this is where you get to sign it, put them arm around it and frame it. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I said, if you have, please click the like button and subscribe. Subscribers are always welcome. Please give it a thumbs up and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.